treacherous wrath as we leave the shield maze's twisted path. Wenduag the traitor we forced to flee after we felt the rage and slew with glee. With friends anew on a success is earned and a chance to return to the city that burns. A cultist missive shows there's work to be done, and Our Lady's quest is barely begun. Take your place by the fire as the gaming starts, with the joy of servicing to the defender's heart.
Alright there, it's your old mate Yorkie here. Welcome you back to our night show where we are doing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, my final attempt to beat the game. We've just made it through the shield maze, and it's time for us, as title says, the joy of surfacing, because it's time to head back to the surface, see what's going on up in that ruined city now. We sold what we had to Dyra that we didn't need. One thing, let me just make sure I line this up, because one thing I did like, only for her unfortunately, no we didn't. Even though she's normally sword and board, I do like the fact that Marching Terror here, that's what it's called I guess, is +1, 1d6 negative energy damage, and all other enemies must pass a will or run away for a turn. That's useful. I think we're gonna kip here before we head up. You know what your problem is? Caught between two worlds, just like me. One half of you is lady and with a lace handkerchief, and the other, and all the airs and grace you expect, but the other half is a brutal killer who lives in the carnage of battle. You need to choose who you are. I am but a young gentle lady who has been forced to pick up a weapon to defend my home. There is no duality in me, mongrel. Isn't there?
Defeat is not an option.
Well, they didn't last long. There's the exit. Now, you still have a little bit of an injury going on, so that's good enough. Missed a few things, I guess. But I got them now.
While the survivors wander the dungeons, the battle on the surface rages on. The warriors of Canabris are trying to defend the wardstone, but their strength is flagging. Their resistance is valiant, yet it will all be in vain if no one rises up to turn the tide.
Let's have a look in here. We'll go upstairs. There's a little box. Not much in it, but it's there. Anything else? Up we go then. Well, that's a mess. They've finished it though. The half-orc before you, wearing armour adorned with Amadeus' golden swords, is clearly exhausted. She obviously hasn't gotten much sleep over the last few days. There's soot on her face and fresh blood on her sword. Her hazel eyes are hard and focused, and her faint voice fame, firm voice sounds accustomed to giving orders. She sizes you up, surprised, judging whether you are friend or foe, and opens her mouth to ask you something, but freezes when she spots a Nevia. Oh. I was going to say they know each other. They certainly do, don't they? Look at that.
By the goddess, Nevi, I'd almost lost all hope.
Everything's fine, Beth. I'm here. I'm here. This here is a new friend. She rounded up those of us who survived the fall and led us up to the surface. Without her, we'd never have made it out.
And Nevia strokes at Beth's head and whispers something in her ear.
Let me introduce you to my wife, Arabeth Tirabade.
Cool.
Head of the Eagle Watch.
Until the army arrives, I'm the temporary warden of Canabras.
So you're in charge.
And
cool.
you're just in time. As you can see, we're in the middle of a battle. And thank you for getting Nevia out of there.
As Dawn's voice grows a little softer. No problem. Glad to get your wife back to you. Where are we?
The Grey Garrison. Until recently, it served as barracks for the Crusaders, but it's now been taken over by cultists.
What's the target of the battle?
When the demons attacked the city, their main target was the Wardstone. I trust I don't have to explain to you what the Wardstone is
Not actually
and how
from here.
important it is to the Crusaders. We must retake it at any cost, or the fall of Canabras will be the beginning of the end of the Crusades, and with them, the rest of the world. I see that you had a difficult journey to the surface. You need to rest. But there's a lot riding on this battle. I have no right to command you, but I'm asking you to help us.
What is the situation in the city?
The city's gone. Most of the defenders, including the dragon Terendelev, fell in the first few
I
hours.
saw Terendelev fall.
The civilians either fled or died in the chaos. The place is overrun with cultists and demons.
Don't talk like that. Canabras hasn't fallen.
Well said, Seela.
Not while it still has defenders like you and me.
Sweet words don't change the grim truth.
We're not saying it does, we're saying it hasn't necessarily... There's no need to give up hope yet.
No, she's right. Thank you, Knight. Until we no longer have the strength to hold a weapon, until Iomedae abandons us, we will fight for Canabras.
So tell me about this Wardstone. I'm not from round here. Why is it important?
Wardstones are a gift of Iomedae. Created personally by her herald, a mighty angel, and a general of the celestial armies. The Wardstones keep the world wound from expanding. They stand along the border of the territory controlled by the demons, creating a barrier to keep them inside. The Canabras obelisk was the first to be placed. It is the key to the whole barrier. We cannot leave it in the hands of those monsters from the abyss.
Now, you may be wondering, anyone who saw the end of the last one, why my neutral good sorceress here let the rage take up. Well, I mean, it's got its role-playing reasons, yes. Being against the demons, she could let rage take over. But also, I also told you that ChatGPT set the character up so that I didn't have control over what happened. I'm also going to let it choose what mythic path to follow. That I don't know what it is, therefore I need to open up other, what do they call it? Other paths that I might not otherwise do on a neutral good. The one I won't allow to go for is, what do they call it? The Halo of Flies, or whatever it's called. The one where you become a living swarm. Primarily because it destroys all the story with all the other characters. So, I have important information about the location of cultist den.
Very good. Report to me in full when we get back to the Defender's Heart. It's our temporary headquarters. Right now, the most dangerous cultists are here. The ones occupying the Grey Garrison.
At least I've heard from, I think it was Mortismal or someone else I saw, that one actually basically kills off all the other companions or they leave you or something, so I don't want that one. We met some mongrels who live in Canabras. This is Lan.
Most people in Canabras think that the children of the first Crusaders are simply a legend. Other people say that the day you emerge on the surface heralds the start of the end of the world. I'm not superstitious, but the situation is apocalyptic, all right. Having a living legend on our side can't hurt.
Come on, living legend? A walking folktale, maybe? I just need to make sure I don't turn into a running joke.
Then don't run. How did the Wardstone end up in the Great Garrison?
The demons have long laid siege to Canabris, but this time, their lord Dascari appeared in the flesh. He ripped the Wardstone from the ground and hurled it halfway across the city to here. I thought the stone was destroyed, but it seems all is not lost, yet. Dascari has gone, but the Wardstone is surrounded by a horde of those creatures. What are they going to do to it? Nothing good, that's for certain.
But how did he do that? He's a demon! The Wardstone should have burned his filthy hide!
It didn't.
It should have. But what happened, happened. We don't know why.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get out there.
That's the spirit. You, take a Navia to the rear. The rest of you with me.
Isn't that your job? I mean, that kind of intimacy stuff? Oh, Augusta. You hear her laboured breathing interspersed with disgruntled muttering. August is holding his rapier hilt in a white-knuckled grip. A bead of sweat trickles down from his temple.
Lord Horgus Worm, forgive me. I did not realize we had civilians among us. My people will escort you somewhere safe. To the extent that anywhere in Canabris can be said to be safe right now.
I just need to check if I heard something. No, I didn't.
That's right. Fighting spirit is the one thing that we've got plenty of. Actual fighting power, that's not so great. Fighting know-how, even worse. But fighting spirit, at least we're rich in that.
For Ioma Day! For the Queen! Kill the beast!
Erebeth raised her blade, and the soldiers, inspired by a cry, rush into battle with renewed vigour. Well, we have a little bit of stuff here. Let's share. Some bad issues. That door's not useful.
Yet another obstacle.
I'll cut you wide open.
Sailor, where are you going? Why'd you run off like that, Sealer? Anything through here? 70% chance to unlock.
I hope you appreciate this.
Okay. Second floor. Masses of them. Two fronts. One on two fronts. Hey, I know you. So you're one of these cultists? How's it going, pal? Want to join? We'll all be dead soon, but we'll be alive. I can't. Come on, leave these losers. Crusades are over. Soon the demons will rule the whole world. Don't do it. Here goes nothing. All hail Baphomet. Cowardly traitor. I swear on the sword of Remedy you will answer for your betrayal.
They will break against our
You've
resolve.
crossed the wrong mongrel.
I'm down. Rest of the group's up. That's the problem. We've got a Drex on it. No, we're still going.
Pain is excruciating.
No, it's getting ready to collapse. I think we better rest before we can move on. Got some bad injuries here, me and Camellia. Okay, that's not working. Try a camp here. Not sure why I couldn't camp there, but never mind. Should be able to pick them up when I go out, just realised.
Smells good. What is it?
I accidentally threw a moldy log on the fire.
There you go. Well, we didn't manage to control the thing this time.
Our path leads on.
Okay. There it's gone. Not getting back that way. It's not good.
What's this? Do we have guests? Just in time. The place is a bit of a mess, and I haven't even poured the blood into the goblets yet. Why don't you... Oh! What an unexpected surprise! Staunton, my little sweetheart. Long time no see. I've missed you so much. Have you missed me? Admit it. You missed me terribly.
The demon's mouth drops open in surprise and she brings a manicured hand up to cover it.
Marco. You again, you wench!
I see you two have got a history of some kind. The aged dwarf from the best troop. Silent up to now, spits on the floor. His hard and craggy face, like stone where the stone twists as if in pain.
Minago, the one who... Be careful. She's one of the deadliest creatures in the whole demon horde. She was once responsible for a massacre in Canabris. She must be back to finish what she started.
Staunton. Do you know this demon?
Does he know me? Staunton, darling. Tell them all how close we were.
That wench?
Close.
She's the one who led me astray. She's the reason my life has gone to the abyss. She's the reason why Dresden fell.
Oh my, like butter wouldn't melt. What I remember is how eagerly you would run to our trysts, how you begged to see me again,
And
how
how
you
much-
promised you'd do anything I asked. By your own free will, you said this.
Was it?
And now you claim that Dresden fell because of me. No, my dear. That was entirely your own doing.
And how much seduction magic did that take from you?
I'll beat your lying lips into your filthy throat!
Now, Staunton, don't say things like that. Not about these lips, the ones you kissed so sweetly. Staunton, dearest, don't you love me anymore? Remember how good we were together? I was so hoping that we could patch things up.
Staunton, it sounds like you screwed up even if seduction was involved. Well, you're looking to fix it now. I'll give you that.
Kill you!
Good. Well, she's gone. We can't kill her right now.
We are the light. They are the darkness.
Sealer's out. Take what we can.
Lead on.
We are heavily encumbered. That's okay. Law, religion.
I have managed.
Experience 24. The unholy symbol of Discari, the demon lord who attacked Canabres, drawn in human blood. Let's save after that.
A monk?
Nope, she's there again. As soon as you step into the chamber, your vision seems to darken and your knees buckle. You struggle to keep your balance. The air in here is laden with power coming from the stone. Suddenly your head is filled with voices, screaming, whispering, cackling. Threatening voices, pleading for help, shrieking curses and taunts. You blink and the illusion passes.
Congratulations. You made it all the way here. This is it. Your precious ward stone. But what are you planning to do now, I could kill you where you stand, but wouldn't it be nice if you could die in battle like heroes? No. I want you to die in despair, scrabbling around like rats in the blighted ruins of your city, blind and broken, your flesh scabbed and seeping, and every moment knowing precisely what was done to you.
And this is what managed to seduce you, Staunton. I hope you've learned your lesson.
Sounds terrifying. Except that's how we've been living for generations.
Well said, Lan.
There isn't a soul that can resist the temptations of the abyss. Even a stone can be turned. I'm not joking. Your precious ward stone, weakened from the injury inflicted by Discari, has almost succumbed to my charms. Soon the whole barrier around the world wound, the gift of your useless goddess, will be a weapon of the abyss. Just a little more and boom. Every city with one of these eyesores stuck in the middle of it, from Canabras to Nerosian, will turn into smoking craters, and all the mortals into red sludge beneath our hooves.
Not if I have anything to say about it, Minago.
So you have a choice. Especially you, my pet. Kiss me on my dainty hoof. Pledge your loyalty to Baphomet. And when the world falls, its ruins shall be yours.
What are you doing to the stone?
Not quite what am I doing to it? Probably the same thing I did to many of your comrades. sweetly and tenderly persuading it to abandon the mortals and join our side.
Prepare to fight to the death, demon! We won't let that happen.
Well said. You feel a sudden rush of wild rage, and with it comes a feeling of monstrous, unbridled destructive power. It's like the power you felt in the shield maze when you're confronting Sabermalek. But now it feels more fully fledged and more conscious and more worrying, so I'll resist that. Shut your filthy mouth, scum.
Make me.
Alright.
One of the sweetest spoils of war is gloating over your broken and humiliated enemy. You want to deny me that pleasure?
We will stop you, demon.
We will prevail.
I'm tired of playing around now. You want to know what will happen when I'm done with the Wardstone? Here's a little demonstration.
The demoness whispers a spell and a wave of darkness sweeps through the chamber. Your companions wince in pain, but it is nothing compared to what you feel. Thousands of voices once again burst into your mind, drowning you in their moans, screams and sobs. Pain rocks through your skull. Evil spells won't stop a righteous army.
With us.
Bound in action, that was good.
Yes. Keep telling yourself that.
The roar of voices blends into an unbearable wall of screaming. Your vision goes dark.
Stand with me.
Praise Iomade, you woke up. Healing your wounds was easy, but you were unconscious for so long I was starting to worry we'd lost you.
What
We
happened?
couldn't stand up to the demoness. Her spells were too strong. It's all right. We'll handle it somehow. You blacked out, but Staunton and I managed to get you here to the Defender's Heart. It used to be a tavern, but now it's our headquarters. We're gathering our forces here, and we're preparing to strike back.
I found a cultist dispatch in the dungeon. Seemed to hold up in the Tower of Estrad.
Demons have been filling Canabras with their spies and infiltrators for a long time. Unfortunately, I don't have enough people to attack the place right now. At least not blindly. I'd be grateful if you snuck in there and scouted out the situation. But just scouting. Don't be a hero.
I hear you. What's the situation in the city?
Bad, but not hopeless. We're constantly getting news, and new sources of resistance keep springing up in the districts where everyone seemed to be dead. The survivors are gathering here. You should see them. Their faces, their eyes burning with determination. The city is destroyed, but our resistance is not broken. We will keep fighting.
What do you plan to do next?
You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the Wardstone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city with a Wardstone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomade's gift must not become a weapon of the Abyss.
Well, she told about the Wardstone, so I don't need that. Can I help in any way?
First of all, we need to decide what to do with the stone once we get it. What I'm about to say is classified. A traveler came to the city recently. A blind elf calling himself the Storyteller. He insisted he be allowed to examine the Wardstone, and he raised the alarm when his study was finished. Even before the demon attack, he had found some damage or flaw in the stone. Prelate Hulrune dismissed his words as nonsense, borderline blasphemy. But between you and me, the prelate's opinion isn't worth much.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
I think the storyteller knew what he was talking about. We could use his advice right now, if only we knew where he was. I remember the storyteller spent a lot of time talking to Staunton, a dwarf from my unit. You saw him during the demon attack. The elf asked him about the history of the Crusades. Maybe the storyteller told Staunton something about where we could find him if anything happened. There's another problem. After the attack, the demons began to gather their forces at the Grey Garrison. It'll be even harder to take them with a head-on assault. But I once heard soldiers talking about a secret entrance to the garrison. Trouble is, I have no idea where to look for it. While you explore the city, please keep your eyes open, in case you find something we can use.
The Hellbox smiles at you encouragingly.
And one last thing. The Eagle Watch has lost a lot of soldiers recently. Some were killed, but others simply haven't been seen since the attack. In the chaos that is now Canabris, it's next to impossible to confirm anything for sure. One of the missing fighters is Janna Aldori, a new recruit in the Watch. She got along well with Sela, and she often went drinking with her. I honestly thought Sela and Janna had died together. But now Sela's returned with you, and there's no sign of Janna. If you learn anything of her whereabouts when you're out in the city, please report back.
Of course, just like anyone else. Everything is clear then.
May the goddess help you. We're still fighting, which means that Canabris still hasn't fallen. If you come across any groups in the city that can fight, send them here to the Defender's Heart. We'll need every fighter we can muster for the final assault.
No
yes,
problem.
one more thing. If you're in the area, check out this address. It's our house. Mine and Anevia's. Well, it was our house. If the building is still standing, open the hidden compartment in the kitchen. It's filled with supplies for a rainy day. You can take whatever you find. You have more need of it.
Thank you. And so we're up. It's in the chest. Some boots, a necklace, and head chomper. Someone's a pet owl cat. Which does what? +2 morale bonus on perception and law nature. Won't say no to that. And we've got we're up to the next level as well. Head chomper's not showing up, but never mind. Alright, so we're level 3 now. Low religion, persuasion, and use magic device. Now what have I picked up? So yeah, that's what I was forced on my first time. And spell focus evocation. That's useful, but it's not the only one I want. There's also, is it combat casting? No. I mean, I do want that sometime maybe, but not right now. That's not what I'm after. It's the one that it's not point blank shot. It's the one that allows you to fire into combat. Arcane Spirit. As a swift action, you can extol the virtues of your magic to one creature, make a persuasion bluff check, opposed by target's perception. If you succeed, the target takes -2 penalty on saving throws. Useful. What is the one that allows you to fire into That's not it. That's a group thing. Spell penetration could also be useful. This is one I don't have access to. I don't think it is, but let me just double check. Let me look it up. Precise shot. I need point blank shot first, that's why. Alright, that's fine then. And then grease is useful. Magic missile could be useful. I think I'm going to take grease for some control ability. Hey, wait. Mind if I bend your ear about something? Nebuli's outside your door, leaning casually against a shelf. So here's a first most important thing. Beth gave you a crucial mission, I get that. I know you'll get the job done. I saw you in action. But here's the rub. By sending you out on an errand, we're weakening our defences here. If they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if we'll be able to fight them off. Well, everything seems clear so far. What is it you want to discuss? So the rift that damn beetle left with his side? Yeah, well, it cut the city in two. And it's kind of difficult to get across. My scouts tell me there's a halfway decent place to set up a crossing in Market Square. Not that any of them tried it to make sure. But if you've got a mind to go across, and I think you're going to have to eventually, you might want to give the square a once-over. When do you think the demons will attack next? Your guess is as good as mine. They might not be here. They could attack a whole damn city. Those vermin know they've lost the upper hand, and that we're going to push back hard. If things kick off here, you should know, after the attack, some things could be changed beyond recognition. So if you've got any business that needs taken care of, you better do it soon. Are you wanting me to stay at the tavern? I don't think that's possible, but... You what? No, your task is far too important. You can't just hold up here, all cosy like, waiting for the demons to knock on the door. We need to take the fight to them. Good, I'm glad we agree. But those freaks try to make move on the place, Beth will send a runner to you. If that happens, you leg it back here, alright? Because if you don't, you'll be coming back to an ash pile, got it? Thank you for the warning. Later, watch yourself out there. Staunton Vane. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high, crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless window makes it clear that all inside is dead. Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the grey garrison. Name's Staunton Vane. If you've heard rumours about me... His face, which looks like it's never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me is true. I need to talk about the elf who called himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? Storyteller? Staunton strokes his beard in thought. A strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours, asking all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort, he just listened. At first I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realised that just talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he is alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you it on the map. I don't know what use the library is to a blind elf, but he loved that place. He'd sit there day and night. Blackwing Library has been revealed. What do people say about you? They say I'm a traitor as bad as the real Warlish. I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. And that Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. I belong on the gallows. Why do they hate you so much? You really don't know. I know you had a liaison with that demon woman. I suspect seduction magic was involved. Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. I am the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in fortresses on the edge of the world wound, instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the wound, the mighty unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I'd done. So that's how I live. Decade after decade fighting in the condemned, the dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I have fixed nothing, and I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? You know, you were given a chance to live, and stop blaming others for what you've made of your life. Fix it. Do you think you're the first to come at me with servants? The dwarf shrugs indifferently. The whole city fell because of you. How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from behind his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask someone else, like my little brother Joran. And if you still don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 10,000th time, I don't, then don't. You really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I were completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters with the condemned console themselves by thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Tirabade seems to be the only person in the world, in the whole army, who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She had some mug flung at her in the past. So I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold a sense of reason in this farce. So many years in the condemned, surely you've paid your penance by now. That's not up to me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. He falls silent for a moment, and then, in a trembling voice, he adds, the condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I've prayed to Torag for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to his priests. Countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the Father of Dwarven kind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I'm still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own God doesn't think I deserve redemption? If Torag has renounced you, perhaps you should turn to another deity. The Lady of Light, Sarenrae, my own goddess, for instance, teaches that everyone who repents sincerely should be forgiven. No, I couldn't. Staunton interrupts you. You can't choose your god, just like you can't choose your family, your race, your homeland. If your father renounces you, you can't just choose another father. It's the same story with Torag. Very well, I have to go. Go on then, maybe we'll see each other again. Who else is around? Kiado? I believe that help is already on the way. The Queen will not leave us to die. And who's this? Vasily Rathimus. A stout old man with fuzzy grey beard mumbles in a prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped on his haggard face. What can I do for you? Show me the scroll. No. Who are you? Vasily Rathimus, rector of the local temple of Abadar. The temple is gone, though, and if we snooze here much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who is that boy with you? This one. Chiaro the shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy and his faith is strong. He serves Eristal, though. But there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls. I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the tavern, I can read one for you. Guaranteed, no surprises. But you better not go into the city without a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old, and my powers are needed here. Alright, we'll check into about scrolls later. Oh, hey, Lan. Lan greets you with a nod. Here for a chat. I've been waiting for you to come and see what strange beast you've taken into your party. You're not a strange beast, Lan. You're just a little horny. I'd like to know more about you. Let me guess. Your first question is, can you wear a hat with one horn? Am I right? You speak common much better than the rest of your tribe. Funnily enough, common isn't all that common underground, Lan says. But your observation is correct. I used to live on the surface with my parents for a while, and had a chance to learn a couple of things, the language, and the fact that every peasant who sees my scaly mug screams demon and runs away. I don't know if you're interested, but my mum wasn't from an underground tribe. She was a smuggler, the kind that used the dungeons of Canabres to secretly move and store goods. One time, two gangs couldn't agree on how to share a prime cut, and got into a fight, and the winners threw the losers down a hole, dead and living alive, alike. My dad went to check if the cops had anything useful on him, and he found a girl from the surface barely clinging to life. An incredible feeling sparked between them. Or maybe the girl just liked men with scales and a cat nose. Maybe that might be it. One way or another, he got her back on her feet, and he later even left his home caves. She left her smuggling behind, and they began an honest life together. That's a delightful story of how old Lan came into the world. The next chapter, however, my family and I stayed in one place for long. Or never stayed in one place for long. We sometimes lived on the surface, sometimes underground. We couldn't find a place to call home. Living in the caves was hard on my mum. My dad's appearance raised so many questions in Mendev. They're at war against demons after all, in the end. My parents decided to stop making each other miserable and separated. My father and I returned to our tribe. I think the peasant screaming demon had something to do with it. Or maybe Dad just couldn't stand life without rat tail soup. I wouldn't rule out the possibility. Did you come to the surface with me so you could see? Did you come with me so you could see the surface again? No, that wasn't it. I just don't have much patience for certain types of creatures. Demons, I mean. If they want to destroy Canabres, I'll be on the side of the people they're attacking. Lan looks away. Lan, you're my companion. And companions should trust each other. I'm counting on you to give me honest answers, not excuses. Lan looks ashamed. I guess you're right. I shouldn't have been so evasive. It's just that some things are hard to talk about. My family, for example. My birth, hell, take me, turned out to be a great misfortune for my parents, all because I'm relatively healthy. I'm the best thing that can come from a marriage between a cave-dwelling mongrel and anyone from the surface. A healthy child with the right number of hands and feet. No apparent defects, no missing organs or other problems. They saw hope in me, so risked having more children. They thought it would be somehow alright. A growl edges into Lan's voice. I could have had 4 brothers. The first was born 2 years after me and died 3 years later. He didn't have a nose. Nothing even remotely resembling one. He could only breathe through his mouth. Mum and Dad were afraid to take their eyes off him for fear he'd choke and suffocate on something. But in the end, it was his weak heart that killed him. Then there was another pregnancy and birth. I pretended I was asleep, but stuck my head out of my bedroom and listened under the door. All those hours, it was very strange, but I never heard the newborn screaming. Mum moaning, yes. The priest praying, when I dared to open the door and a little and looked inside. The priest stood there, very pale. One of them was holding something, a small object that fit in his palm. He asked, "Do you know what this is?" And the other said, "I think it's a head." That's not good. Enough. You don't have to keep going if it hurts you. Hell no, I started to tell you and I'll make it to the end. You want to know why I followed you to the surface? Well, here's the reason. Lan pauses, exhales and continues in a steadier voice. It turned out that this time, Mum was expecting triplets. The first of the babies was born in pieces, and the other two didn't live long enough to draw their first breath. About 3 weeks later, my dad took me to the caves. I didn't want to leave. I could see it on his face. But I think my mum and he decided they decided it together. The curse my people have carried since the first crusade stood between them. Not to mention the 4 dead babies. And old age was rapidly taking its toll on my father. After we returned to the caves, he only lived another 4 years. So if you're asking me why I decided to go up with you to the surface and join the Crusaders, well, there's the answer. I've always wanted to. I was afraid to leave my tribe, but it always haunted me that I'd die in a world where 4 crusades could do nothing to stop the beast from the abyss, and the number of victims kept growing. I want to change that, or at least try to. I bet you do after what your heritage has done to you. And if changing things is too much to ask, then at least get a little revenge. The ones who are behind the world wound owe me a great debt. The lives of 4 brothers, all my mother's tears, my father's broken heart. It's a lot. It's so much that killing a couple of demons won't do it for me. I want to do something real, and I'm ready to pay any price. Call it my personal crusade if you like. Lan gives you a slanted grin. I used to think that things would be better if I'd never been born. But now, I think I was born for this, to settle the score. Why didn't you join the Crusades before? I couldn't just abandon my tribe. I'm their best hunter. They'll have it much harder without me, but now the demons have nearly destroyed Canabres, and the caves almost collapsed on our heads. Sitting and waiting it out just wasn't an option anymore. Anyway, I'm more useful up here than I am down there. Plus, the chief let me go, which means my debt to the tribe has been paid. Would you like to find your mother? No. The word flies from Lan's mouth faster than an arrow. Then, after a pause, he continues. I don't want to meet her. Not because I feel any resentment. It's just that she's a half-elf. She's barely got a first for grey hair. And I'll be a ramshackle old man. She's buried enough children. There's no need to make her witness the death of another one. Hope you understand. I am very truly sorry, Lan. Lan smiles, this time sadly. Well, then I'm very lucky. I met someone who not only helped me choose the right path, but he's happy to listen to my whining. Not whining when it's a real thing, Lan. Your parents' love didn't survive hardship, but that doesn't mean the same thing will happen to you. What if true love finds... what if you find true love? Someone who won't leave no matter what. And break my beloved's heart when I die in her arms 5 years later. That's a fine thing to do to the person you love. And again, there's a chance to inspire some tragic bard to write a tearful ballad. Thanks for sharing, Lan. Thanks for listening. Don't need to hear his story again, we've heard it. Mongrels have short lifespans, but you don't look like you're getting old or dying. How old are you? Lan chuckles. I'm as old as I look, no surprise there. Remember Sol? He's 10 years older than me. I remember him when he was back when he was a fearless warrior, and day by day I watch him turn into an old man. Him and my father. It happens very quickly. First you miss a shot because you don't see a target as clearly as you used to. You think it's because your eyes are tired. You tell yourself it'll get better tomorrow. Then you notice you're having trouble breathing, that climbing is harder than before. Lan clenches and unclenches his human fist. Your fingers stop bending. You have to tie your sword to your hand. You can't even put on greaves without help. When you're washing your face in a stream. Sometimes you catch sight of a grey-haired, wrinkled old man you don't recognise. And this goes on until one day you come across a cave beast. You realise you can't outrun it. Lan takes a breath. My dad kept diaries marking all the signs, and I saw it too. The last year, I had to help him get out of bed, help him dress, remind him to eat. Sometimes he forgot my name. I told him that we should have stayed on the surface, and he joked that dodging a goddess was behaviour unworthy of a crusader. He meant for asthma. Every morning, I wake up and check how I feel. but there's no signs yet. Even so, I know I don't have much time. I need to do something useful before I forget why I came here. Let's talk about Wenduag. Are you sure? Lan sighs. Alright. Tell me about your connection with her. Sounded personal. My connection to Wenduag? I mean, where do I start? Lan turns the unexpressive reptile half of his face to you. We grew up together, trained together. She was the chief's daughter. She was groomed to be the best all her life. And then I came along. We were rivals, but we dragged each other out of tight spots too. I've always been drawn to grand, heroic gestures, sometimes idiotic ones. Whereas Wendu, I like to roam unexplored passages, finding new caves and making maps. She wanted to be a great huntress, the one who'd make it through the shield maze, but instead she... Lan shakes his head. It'd be better if she died. The death of a friend is painful, but watching a friend become a shadow of their former self is unbearable. She doesn't think she's a shadow of her former self. Of course, she thinks she did everything right, because the second she starts to doubt herself, she'll have to face the truth, to admit that she's just a cannibal that demons use as they wish. I think you're right, Lan. Lan frowns. Lan's frown looks almost like a wince. She wants to get stronger and stronger, but for what? I'll never understand what drives her. Were you friends, or more than that? Wow, you really don't pull your punches, do you? Lan exhales loudly. There was a time when I asked myself the same question. Wenduag knew me better than anyone else. She understood me better than anyone else. She was my first woman. We never loved each other. Maybe I could have grown to love her, but it always seemed like she never understood what love was. Maybe she just wasn't capable of those kind of feelings. Too bad you and Wenduag didn't work out, but there are plenty of other women around who might like you. Me, for example. Huh? Lan laughs, and by coincidence, turns the unexpressive, scaly side of his face towards you. Don't joke like that, I almost believed you. Humble guy like me, a beautiful woman, could have me wrapped around her little finger without even trying. Thanks, I think I've found everything I need. But you didn't answer the question. Can you wear a hat with one horn? Sure I can. Certain designs don't suit me too well. Lan speaks in a deadly serious voice. Alright, I found out everything I wanted to know, thank you. And I will see you around, Lan. Now, what do we have here? We've got a little gathering in Dara. An imposing young Oread is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jitka legionnaires from the last war and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but in a united whole. Oh, I see. We've got a historian here, do we? An arrogant one. Now tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the crusaders grumble unhappily, but it's clear they are captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly, disabled halfling monk, whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. Looks like we've got ourselves a student of warfare. The woman gives you a suspicious look and raises an eyebrow. Were your words meant to recognise my achievements, or to start a fight, the way Mendevian crusaders usually do? One of the crusaders angrily curls his fist tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours, or whatever, had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy the confrontation. The crusaders around him look upon their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot-tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. I'll have you know these fortifications are defended by Jiskan priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her clothes with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundations of Absalom. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who exactly are you? I am Indara, a warrior magus and scholar of classical warfare from Garund. The woman peers at you apprehensively, then sighs. I admit I am mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I am willing to accept that this is due to Avistan's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large. We've come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Galarian, and I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. So why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, the confrontation between denizens of a plain famous for its love of violence, and the crusaders from every continent united by common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions that hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. The monk with the black eye grins and mutters under his breath. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. The woman smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's words worthy of comment. I disagree. The Crusaders are doing a commendable job at resisting the demons. Oh yes, and the situation we have found ourselves in can attest to that. But then again, demons are no better. Their preferred strategy also involves brute strength, mindless assault, and unfounded confidence in their superiority. You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Jiska. Very well. The last war of Jiska was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to the Jiska, we are but stone club-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, the advisor to the Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you'll comprehend the true genius of the statement, but here it is nevertheless. A gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you fail to grasp. What you're talking about is half-hidden truths that are lost to time, most of which are probably not even accurate. The earnestness on the face of those around you has taken away Indara's panache, encouraging her to backtrack and stumble over words. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I'm trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare, she falls silent, fixedly staring at the unfriendly eyes of her audience. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny there is a certain truth behind your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline, rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meagre the further the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Primarak by adding a dozen Baelors, for example, I could win this debate. But I am above such things and therefore forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. I'm sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Indara nods with obvious relief. I'm glad we both understand this limitation. It is always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if this debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also the wise. We get the claw of Jiska. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It's about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile gracing Dara's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. Well, that's got rid of her. Meanwhile, we've got Claw of Jiska. A short sword. 3 to 13 damage, 1d6 plus 1. Which is nice damage, but I can't use it. It's martial proficiency group. Flaming enhancement plus 1. So that's it, yeah, 1d6 plus fire. Finesse wielding. And plus 1 flaming short sword. I see we've got Sealer here. Sealer smiles at you warmly. Hey there! During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb, a little bit from Katapesh, but mostly from the Knights of Ayamday. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than I belong to any other place. You've come to Mentep by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. Sealer looks at you cheerfully. A traveller is expected to have amusing tales. Unfortunately, I only have 3 tales of any interest, and I'd like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do, especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. And what a feast it'll be. We'll talk when we celebrate our next sanctuary. Our next victory, sorry. I like your attitude. We'll never overcome grief and misery without hope for the better and dreams of brighter days. What made you become a paladin of Ayamade? Sealer's gaze sharpens momentarily, then she sighs. That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Solku with the other homeless orphans. I stole. I fought. I was a hired sword for a bit. Not the proper origin for a paladin, is it? Not the usual one. Back then, Solko was a city of orphans, widows and widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among the victims. People there heard about new deaths before they'd finished mourning the previous losses. One day a group of Knights of Ayamade brought a glimmer of hope to the city, but while others saw them as saviours and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armour, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. A thief lives one day at a time, that's what they say. I was the type that never thought past the next job. However, I was able to sneak into the Knight's camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Sealer pauses, her voice sad and measured. And I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Asami was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll, like all those others, she'd fearlessly driven from the gates of Solku. That one blow was fatal, but who was really to blame for her death? The gnoll attacker, or the young thief named Sealer? You couldn't have known the consequences of your actions. I couldn't, for I knew full well I was committing a crime. We were a starving orphan, and I targeted someone who came to help my city in a time of trouble. There are times, Ilyana Soulshade, when you can't hide behind I didn't know. Yeah, face what you did, but don't over-blame yourself. You're a starving orphan. But you're asking what brought me into the ranks of Ayamede's warriors. Well, we all choose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Esme died, protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realised it wouldn't make the world any better, and I decided that instead, I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been, and protect the innocents that she would no longer be able to. So what are the principles of the Paladins of Iomedae follow? Sealer smiles. I'll tell you. I like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in these words. After a pause, she begins, her voice slow and meditative. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the Inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion, and I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I am the first into battle and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honour sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honour of my fellows, both thought and deed, and I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honour to worthy enemies and contempt to the rest. I will suffer death before dishonour. I will be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behaviour. I will strive to emulate Iomedae's perfection. Thank you, I've learned a lot. Hope I didn't bore you. No. Erebeth said your friend Jan Aldori is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Erebeth is worried about her fighters. I understand that. I wanted to look for Janna myself, so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Janna and I met in Canabres a few days ago, and just hit it off. We were drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too. But we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking at from the main square. And that's where I last saw her, Sealer frowns. Janna's a good fighter, even if she's green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's alright. What do you think of what's going on in Canabres? It's complete chaos. It's lucky we're here to handle it, right? Sealer smiles brightly. Then she gives a worried look. Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem blasé. Many good people and our protector Tenderendel have died here in Canabres. A paladin of Iomedae is expected to be properly respectful and solemn. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. It can undermine a warrior's spirit. It's better we hold off on grief until we've driven the last demon and cultist from the city. There's a place for grief, but if we want to win, we can't be mourning our deceased all day and night. Plus, joy can heal the soul. It's nice when you and Commander think alike, Sealer smiles softly. Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen if they're lively ones. Sealer's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me. But there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like criticising my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim, war against the World Wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know. I always liked being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favourite dog has gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here, a little bit there. Thank you. Speak with me. Until next time. See you. That's an Eagle Watch. That's Erebeth. Alright, let's have a word with Erebeth. Erebeth rubs her red, tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? We know our main objective. We know about the Wardstones. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. It's a small order created to fight not only demons, but also the enemy within, to maintain the purity of the paladin ranks, prevent heresy and identify spies, and it failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anivia and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of dead weight, people who weren't committed. We organised ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit allies around the city, from Crusader orders to street beggars. This was my personal crusade to purge the city of the Templars who had infested it. And I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultists out to Canabres. But, Erebeth frowns. Sad to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. On the contrary, Erebeth, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter to the demons. The lines were Erebeth's forehead soften. Yeah, that's true. It was a good thing we achieved something, thank you. Allow me to ask some personal questions. Frowning a little, Erebeth nods. Please, but I must warn you there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Well, first, tell me about Anivia. We met in Timon, as I was wandering aimlessly from ordeal to ordeal. We returned to Canabres together to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. But Anivia isn't just my beloved. She's my staunchest ally. We shared every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then. The day Canabres fell, before her return, the only thing giving me strength to protect the Defender's Heart was the hope I'd see her again. We're in your debt. No, you're not. No, you're not. There's no debt there. That's just doing what we do. So where are you from? I was born in Canabres. I grew up on a farm just outside it, but my way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me years of travelling through foreign lands before I came to be where I was always belonged. How did you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears on the half-orc's face. I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. My parents were crusaders, may their souls stand together in Armide's celestial army. When I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. But my father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, more pious servant of the goddess than he. But still, all his life he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older, it was time for me to serve. I decided anywhere but Canabres. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters, led by the Honourable Prelate Holrun, stalked the city with a heavy hand. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to... A smirk that looks more like a painful grimace crosses her face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Lastwall of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a country that's been battling the Orcs of Belton since its foundation. Yeah, it's an interesting choice, Erebeth. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows and the goddess granted me the powers of a paladin. But even then, not a single warder would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realised the simple truth. I serve Iomade, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them. So I left as a paladin, but not a knight. You must stick out like a sore thumb no matter where you go, right? I know many people envy Asimars, but most of the ones I've known found their celestial heritage a burden. I find it hard to imagine what unasked for adoration must be like. but I'm sure it doesn't make life any easier or more pleasant. It has its good side and bad side, I suppose. So how did you come to join the Knightly Order in the end? I left Lastwall and went travelling. The goddess guided me, and my path led me where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I wandered the River Kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time. Excuse me, my throat's dying. But my true place was in Canabres. But I pushed those thoughts away. I didn't even want to think about going back, but in the end, divine providence had brought me to my senses. It happened in Timon. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my former employer suspected was a cover for Rasmiran spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous than spies. An unholy temple to Zun Kathon. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone. The person who was destined to become my wife, Anivia. Well, that's another story. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults had spread throughout all of Avistan, including Mendev. Worse, the document clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Canabres and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would have been tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone, and Nevia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Nevia and I hurried to Canabres. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, the half-orc, smiles warmly. She knew her way around working locks, tailing people and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Can you imagine? While Prelate Holrun was chasing witches through the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me and put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch: I wasn't a knight, but I was made commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. Oh, my throat. I can't imagine the followers of Zun Kathon in alliance with demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? They should. But Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulate Zun Kathon butchers as eagerly as Iomede's knights. The cultists from that unholy temple didn't know the face of the associates in Canabres. We ourselves learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of the nest. So how did the people of Canabres feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. I should have been wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced as a rule. After all, heroes from all over the world, even from other continents, come here to fight the demons. Apparently, the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. Ah, like your dad. And there were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems, though the locals do have their superstitions. Mendev is as merciless as Lastwall. They just have a different set of victims. I kept seeing those same sideways looks and scowls, hearing familiar whispers. But where once they used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You must have figured out by now I'm talking about tieflings. It's true there are many of them among the cultists, and few among our crusaders, and our fighters do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them Arilu's spawn or worse, as if they chose to be born like that. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time in Canabres. So people are people everywhere, you're saying. Some are good, a lot of bigots. Thank you for your answers. And a Beth nods without saying a word. I gotta go. Go, may I keep you safe. Next up is this guy, I guess. Hello. A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely grey and shorn close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkled coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings, I'm Hylar, Bench Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I'm the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here, actually. I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as Spinner of Nightmares. I'm about to work alone without the support of the Society. But I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, let me know. Talk to me about your confrontation with the Spinner of Nightmares. It all began with the task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Neurotian with my team to investigate the sudden death of the famous crusader, Baron Falrun. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Falrun was being treated shortly before his death. Turned out that a gang of Baphomet cultists, called themselves the Labyrinth of the Mind, had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims, and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into servants of Baphomet, ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles in Mendev, but Baron Falrun stopped them. He was too loyal to his oath, and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. They opened and cleansed the city of Baphomet pit vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. And they cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fancies stepped real from their mind into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could. The leaders of the cult were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. Yeah, that sounds typical of demon worshippers. They abducted my daughter, Lowry, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insults, mockery, and sneers. From that note, I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed that she was the leader of the Labyrinth of the Mind. My hunt began. I would get Lowry back at any cost. I looked at his teeth with bulldog determination. That's all that's happened so far. You haven't got there yet, but maybe you will. I want to know more about you. What exactly are you interested in? I'm a common Pathfinder. There are many others like me. Fate and my orders brought me to this land. How did you end up here? I was working on an assignment for the Pathfinder Society, and then a demon worshipper named the Spinner of Nightmares abducted my daughter, Lowry. From the past 3 years, I've been trying to save her. During this time, I've become a specialist in scouting demon territory. I've even planted agents among the cultists. Truth be told, in pursuing the Spinner of Nightmares, I've been acting more on behalf of Queen Galfrid and the Pathfinder Society. It's a long story. Maybe I'll tell you the rest of it sometime. Fair enough, I look forward to hearing that, and I wish you success. Hylar frowns. The Spinner of Nightmares is a true spawn of the Abyss. I've fought her many times, but I've never been able to seize her by the throat. Why don't you tell me about Lowry, your daughter? Hylar smiles, showing his healthy white teeth. As a girl, Lowry was just an angel. We lost her mother early on. She was left to follow my example. A drifter with no idea how to talk to a 10-year-old girl. But even with such questionable parenting, Laurie managed to grow into a wonderful girl. Brave, smart, beautiful, and entirely unbearable. She always argued with me about everything. When Laurie was 18, she told me she was going to be a Pathfinder. Well, I said it was alright. I knew there was no use trying to talk her out of it. And she was a fine Pathfinder. Halo's fist clenched with painful sounding crack. I'll never forgive the Spinner of Nightmares for taking my girl from me. Why don't you tell me about the Society? The Pathfinder Society is a global organisation that unites opportunists and adventurers of all kinds. We explore the world and uncover its secrets, travel, and sometimes face down threats. In times of trouble, the latter becomes our primary focus. We're driven by curiosity and the desire to make the world a better place, and of course, some seek profit or hunger for glory. But in any case, it's hard work. They might send you anywhere on a mission. Weaklings have little place in the society. It's more for seasoned fighters. There are society lodges in many cities. The closest one is in Nerosian. They each led by adventure captains, lads like me. The Grand Lodge in Absalom, the centre of the world. The Decemvirate sits there. It's the anonymous council of our leaders. I think I'm done with questions for that. I may need some experienced fighters. Tell me more. You can rely on my lads, but you'll have to pay. 4,500 gold is the standard rate. That's unacceptable for now. Sorry, but the Society has established universal rates to avoid competition between Pathfinders of different countries. I'll think about it. I have to go. Good luck. Watch your back. Only trust your closest friends. The enemy is cunning and treacherous. Indeed. Oh, but Nevi has come over here. Why move, girl? Something on your mind? A Nevia in her muted colours blends almost perfectly in the background. She appears relaxed, but her seemingly unfocused eyes are taking in everything around her, tracking and filtering potential threats. The only tell is the way she drums her fingers on a hip near her weapon sheath. She shows no sign of her injuries and confidently leans on her previous broken leg. She pretends to she pretends to just have noticed you, even though she was watching you approach from afar. Oh, hey! So how they patched me up? Now I can run, jump, and dance or jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city I should pay attention to? Well, there are a couple of spots I wanted to check out, but I didn't have time. If there really is a den of cultists there, it'd be a good idea if you could swoop in and bust some heads. You don't need a search warrant. And maybe I shoot you a crooked smile. The first one is Silk and Thread. It's a funny little tailor shop that doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric. Well, they always seem oh so busy. They're busy with something in there, alright, but sewing it ain't. Second one is the alchemy shop, Topaz Solutions. And they trade in everything, not just healing potions. Judging by the ingredients they've been buying on the black market, there's something fishy about the alchemical rituals going on in that place. So why don't you tell me about yourself? She shrugs with a lazy smile. I'd be happy to, but there's kind of nothing to tell. What's so interesting about me? Where are you from? Nowhere. I was blown in by the wind and found in a cabbage patch. She stopped short. Sorry. That's an old habit of mine. I don't like blabbing about my past. But you saved my skin, so I guess I kind of owe it to you not to clown around, right? And I'd appreciate it. I'm from Dal, and I wouldn't wish my homeland on my worst enemy. You've heard of the place, I'm sure, ruled by monsters that aren't alive or dead. And the official religion is the cult of Zun-Cathon. I grew up in a slum, like a weed between the cobblestones. I didn't have a dad, but I had lots of aunts and uncles, my mum's cronies. No prize for guessing the kind of business she was involved in. They gave me a set of lockpicks as soon as I was able to hold a spoon. And while the other kids were picking their noses, I was picking pockets. When I was 12, the monks of the Silent Shroud came for us. Creepy guys with their mouths sewn shut. The guards in Nizrock. Mum gave me to her friends and we hid in a secret temple in Desna. I never saw my mum again. I lay low in the temple for a few years, kept my head down. I washed floors, fetched water, listened to sermons. Funny thing, after a while I started liking Desna's teachings. But as soon as I was old enough, I was out there. I left Nidal and got as far away as I could. So how'd you meet your Beth? I was bumming around Simon a while back and doing this and that. Desmond Temple sometimes gave me odd jobs, you know, sometimes they needed people with skills like mine. On the surface it was fine, I guess. After Nidal, the freedom of the River Kingdoms should have seemed like heaven. My chance to sit back and enjoy life. But I wasn't happy. There just wasn't any joy in my new life. I was all alone, no one cared about me. And I didn't care about anybody either. I struggled to find a reason to drag myself out of bed every morning. Tying a stone around my neck and jumping into the nearest river started to look pretty appealing. Yeah, feeling pretty miserable, Anivia, huh? One day I was hired to follow some fellas who the local authorities suspected were Asmerian spies. I was stupid. I made a rookie mistake and they caught me. It's like my body had already decided to do what my mind had been fighting to finally put me out of my misery. Get someone else to kill me since I didn't have the guts to do it myself. They grabbed me. I thought they'd gut me on the spot, but instead they hogtied me and dragged me off. And just like an animal going to the slaughter, my only thought was, let's get this over with. They brought me to the stinking cave, threw me on the altar, and I realised who it was, Cuthites from Nidal. They tracked me down after all those years. But I didn't care anymore. Wouldn't even have cared if they'd eaten me or whatever. We all gotta go sometime, right? So I was lying, staring at the knives pointing at me, when fate rolled the dice and I hit jackpot. Irabeth. There she was, storming into the cave. Picture it, I'm lying on the altar with these knife-wielding maniacs around me, and suddenly Irabeth storms in. I thought it was Ayamade herself, fierce in a shining armour with a gleaming sword raised. She made quick work of those scumbags, chopped them up just like that. I didn't even have time to blink. She untied me and then... Anivia's face lights up as she chuckles. She looked through the papers they had on the table and she started swearing like a sailor. So much for Ayamade. How did you and Irabeth end up in Canabras? After almost becoming human sacrifice, I knew I never wanted to leave Irabeth's side. Desna knows I fell for her instantly. I fell hard. My misery was gone. And so, hero, or saviour complex, whatever you want to call it. White Knight complex in your case, I guess. And when Irabeth showed me what was in those papers, proof that the cultists had a nest in her home city, well, I offered to help without a second thought. Anivia smiles warmly. She must have figured I couldn't wait to get my revenge on the cultists, but I didn't give a damn about them. It was her. I'd go anywhere with her, even on a crusade or into the jaws of a dragon. But I took to life in Canabres like a duck to water. I used to be an outcast wherever I went, but half the crusaders are the same. After all, who'd volunteer to tangle with demons on the edge of the abyss? You got to either be a goody two-shoes with too much honour and free time, or a misfit with no life outside in the normal world. With normal people. People come here to run away from their debts, their past, from themselves. So I fit right in. It is quite a ragtag group you've got here, from nobles to street thieves. You got that right. Only the best for you. What do you do if the knights and nobles fail to save the world? The lowlifes are your only hope. What is it like living with Irabeth? It's like living. Without her, I wouldn't be. Seriously, if I was alone, I'd definitely be gone by now. Sure, sometimes we argue, can't deny that. Sometimes we bang our fists on the table and yell so loud that the walls shake, but that's all about order business. But at home... Well, I'll give you an example. I've kind of always wanted to move out of that broom closet we call a house, and into somewhere cozier. It ain't like they take about poverty at the Eagle Watch. But every month, somehow, most of our spare money is spent on crusader business. Sure, I get mad about it, but... Olivia makes a helpless gesture. It's part of why I love her so much. You know, Annabeth is that thing that matters most to a person. A purpose in life. She's always got a reason for whatever she's doing. Her whole life is a crusade, and I just drifted around like a leaf on the wind until Desna brought us together. Now she's the meaning for my life. So it really makes no difference if we live in a mansion or under a bush. Aye, but what if you lose her? Thanks for your answers. Thanks for asking. Telling you all this kind of made me feel better. So what's your responsibilities in Eagle Watch? Olivia smiles evasively. Nothing official. I'm not even a knight, you know. I just hang around. You sure you want to know the details? Catching traitors and spies and cultists is no walk in the park. It's a job. It's a delicate job. You can't always do it within the letter of the law. What if we surprise some suspicious blighter with an official search? Everyone will know about it long before long. Starting with their coronas. Then again, sneaking into people's houses at night ain't exactly legal. Crusaders can't be doing stuff like that, can they? Well, I'm not exactly a knight. She trails off. Alright, I have to go, Nivea. Alright, you watch yourself now. Oh, we've got Hogarth. He owes a little money, doesn't he, for getting his ass out of there. $1,000 coins for you, just as promised. You helped me get back to the surface, and I duly paid you for escorting me. August Worm always keeps his word. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, will we? August looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. What do you mean, someone like me? Naturally, I'll pay generously for your services. Yeah, what do you mean for a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter. Or do you think you're somehow different? Yeah. A travelling knight, perhaps, noble of heart but without a coin to your name? August sizes you up critically, then sighs and shrugs. You seem a reliable enough ally to me, and you did get me out of those mongrel caves. So why should I care what you do with the money, once you've got it? August seems like one of those people who think the entire world owes them something. However, you hear notes of hysteria beneath his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous, but taking great pains to conceal it. I don't need to say that. So what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard, and I shall be your long-lost no. You see, I have good reason to return to my mansion here in Canabres. I still have. Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building, with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside. One way or another. I shudder to imagine states in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw demons. Only Abadar knows what happened to them since. Therefore, I would ask that you meet me at my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help. They have no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Damn cowards and traitors. That's what they are. Also, please do take Camilla with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She's of noble birth, after all. What kind of reward are we talking about if I'm going to help you out here? We've got a crusade going on, after all. 1,000 gold coins, August replied without hesitation. Double the reward and might think about it. Nope. Yeah, right. For that kind of money, I can hire Queen Galfrey herself to guard me. Don't think so, Samel. 1,000 is my final offer. Alright, I will make it a deal. Marvellous, most excellent. August's face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your reward. So, another task for August. Good. A word with the barman. A strange figure towers over the bar, huge, ungainly man, with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes staring passively at you from beneath his pale brows. The glass in the albino's hand, large clumsy hands, holds dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those callous fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard sparkles around his neck. What will it be? Who are you? The albino slowly takes your measure with his red eyes and finally with a gentle sigh says, Gemmill Hawks, vampire. Are you really a vampire? Gemmill gives you a long look of approach and then grudgingly answers, No. How did you end up in the Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them? With a huge hand, the tavern keeper gestures to the ragtag group assembled in the room. The world is big, but still there isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life elsewhere, they end up here. The medallion you're wearing, that's a sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Caden Caerleon? I am a tavern keeper, best in the city. The best there's ever been. And I pray to the best god there is. Fair enough. Appropriate god for you. Any news from the city? The albino looks around. There are demons everywhere, and you showed up. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there are plenty, like the Pitaxian wine cellar. Gemmill pauses for effect, like the name of the place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pitaxian trading house. Then King Ereveti came to power in Pitax, and property started changing hands. Soon, after the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch, not all of him mind, just his head, Nemirian gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Ereveti's number was up. So now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say the headless ghost wanders around the place at night, moaning ghoulishly, Ooh! After coming to the end of his story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there. I just tell it like I heard. That's a weird thing to say. I say you're not one for talking because he's been talking, so that's silly. I'll check your wares later. I have to go. The tavern keeper sees you off with a subtle twitch of his eyebrows. Then we've got our girl, Camellia. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with a snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noting your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings! It seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long, and she slips back into cautious silence. Tell me about yourself, Camellia. You want to know more about me than you already do? Why? Camellia arches her dainty brow. I talk to the spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? You're one for hiding, aren't you? Where did you learn to wield the rapier so well? I had good teachers, although they don't get all the credit. I am a most diligent student. Camellia lips a parched lip. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where'd you get it? Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you not to notice, but I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? You know, you're much more relaxed during combat. Your battle cries are uninhibited. She blushes slightly and lowers her gaze. So you've noticed. To be honest, I find it embarrassing. You see, being a shaman means having spirits of battlers my ever-present companions. In the heat of combat, they become rather vocal. Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camellia turns away, watching you out of the corner of her eye. Whoa, 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 we're not done yet. Your speech told me your noble birth. Camellia laughs, her practiced musical laugh. as she watches you from under lowered eyelashes. You are most insightful, a fine quality to have. Camillia's laughter ends, and unspoken words hang in the silence. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I'll stop bothering you immediately if you're upset. If talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is an exquisite delight. Camillia affords you a brief, friendly smile in appreciation of your manners. I'll have to go. Talk to you later. I won't keep you. The dawning smile on Camillia's face freezes, and quickly dies away. Now, how much money? I can get a companion, and I think I might. It will be created by ChatGPT, but as I recall, there are no kineticists to hire, and I would like a kineticist in the party. Journal. A young man in well-worn travelling clothes and a simple wooden symbol of Veristil on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen robe into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm chestnut-coloured eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. I'm General, servant to Veristil. Pleased to meet you. What are you doing? I only took my holy orders recently, so my god has only bestowed a little of his power upon me as yet. I'm sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in this tavern is far beyond my power to heal. But there's a reason people say have faith in the gods, but look to yourself first. I may not be able to help the wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. Are you from around here? No. I was just passing through Canabres. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the Great Selin River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. I happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival, and I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself, but I ended up staying in the city longer than I bargained for. Chili Creek, where's that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on some maps, but people do live there. What they don't have is a priest, and they have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial. And the world wound is a stone's throw away. So I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my god and my people. Once we've held Canabres, I'll be going there. If by the grace of the gods we all survive this, you should come and visit me sometime. You'll find the village here on the bank of the river. The priest marks Chili Creek on your map. Aren't you a young and experienced cleric afraid to go to the border of the world wound? I won't lie, I am afraid, but what can I do? Those villagers are simple people. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want. Something simple but meaningful. If I had centuries ahead of me like elves do, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world. The young man says with a smile. Maybe even 100, why not? But I don't have time to spare, so I want to spend my short life in the place where I'm needed most. Even if it's dangerous. Actually, especially if it's dangerous. I could use the help of a cleric. Jonah makes a helpless gesture. Eris still knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted, so rest. And I have no training in potions or scrolls. We can buy them. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. I get it, you're dedicated to what you want to do. I have to go. See you around, Jono. May Eris still watch over you. Oh, we do have something here. Some purifying salts. Solutions, whatever. And we've got 4 autumn haze here. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He is pale as the ghost, his arm wrapped in blood-stained bandage. You spot other bandages on his body, under his clothes. But even in such a miserable state, he manages to stay calm. Raising his eyes to meet yours, he says faintly, I am Fawn Autumn Haze, at your service. His pale lips are reddened by blood, but you see no sign of pain or fear in his eyes. Do you need help? After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local heal attended me. Besides, I come from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both wounds and the poison delivered through them. Who exactly are you? My name is Fawn Autumn Haze. I came here from Keonin because I am a hunter, and all minions of evil are my quarry. I won't say more than that if you don't mind. We are strangers, and of different races and cultures. I'd rather not tell you more than is necessary. Fair enough, I guess I have to go then. Certainly, I won't keep you any longer. He smiles softly. And thank you for sparing some time for a wounded stranger, I appreciate it. Right. Right, downstairs. Small shield, we've got a button there. Bits and bats. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Amadeus protectors. I got you again. How many times that today? Take your jokes and show him, tiefling. Oh, he's there, Chief. Don't hit me. Okay. We have a visitor. Oh, cat. Aw. More stuff around here. Let's try these two. I think that might be the solution. Then push that button. Yep. Right. See what's going on over here. Over here.
Hey, Chief! Ooh, hey, gorgeous. Come over here. I want to talk to you about something.
He's a
Something
flirt.
really important.
Looks like a kid, but he's a flirt. The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles. His tail whipped back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out!
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
The tiefling rattles his chains and gives you a meaningful look. So what is it you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you.
Not
Some
exactly
extra
doing that.
rations, no problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff! If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
Well, I can't exactly help you while I'm chained up in here. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty-looking gal,
I know.
always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. Got that? Will you do it?
Alright, I'll talk to Beth about your situation.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
So, but why are you in chains?
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
Oh, okay. Shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you.
Someone
and don't
do
worry,
like to do this
it's
little
not
trick.
contagious.
Alright, we'll talk later. Let's go talk to her and Beth about this lad. Actually, before we do, let's see if we can sell stuff to our lad here. Can definitely afford to hire someone. Elizabeth rubs her head and tired eyes. Any success? How's the city? There's a tiefling, even, chained up in a defender's hut. What can you tell me about him? Elizabeth shrugs scornfully. Woljif's a petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Canabris. That's what we call him in these parts. I tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We've nowhere else to keep him apart from the defender's heart, but that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free, or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Elizabeth squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off the guard's hands. We can ill afford to have soldiers spend their time watching over a middling thief. I hope your tiefling proves useful, should he decide to take him. Alright, well, in that case, let's go free him. Let's do that little thing. Devlin? Actually, we talked to him.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I talked to her at Beth and I've decided to make you part of the troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me.
Smooth
I'm
talker.
going free.
I brought a wife back to her.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
You might be right, but strange times make strange allies.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that Big Sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
You're in trouble.
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
So, you're in trouble, you're trying to fix it, and you need some muscle. Well, if you're going to prove useful, I can get behind that. Upstairs again. There's our Woljif. Let's see if we can get any more of his story out of him. Woljif is your friendly wave. Hey, Chief, want to talk? I want to know more about you. How much is more? Are your family tieflings too? My family. It's an interesting story, actually. But I don't tell it just to anyone. My father and mother had a bakery. Their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day my mother went to the river to wash some clothes and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. In my hand was a note spritzed with expensive perfume that said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she and my father realised right away that I was heaven sent. They raised me as their own. When I turned 50, my mother showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with a coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents. But it's not easy, travelling takes money. So if you have a few gold coins, I'll pay you back as soon as I find my real family. Yeah, that doesn't sound very believable. Seriously? Usually everyone just believes everything I say. Yeah, well, I'm not stupid. People love stories like that, you know? A cute baby, a blanket, a basket. What's not to love? They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more than just the sheets I spit up on. Might have had a fancy coat of arms on them. Woljif laughs bitterly. If I was really a prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I'd have already gone to take what was rightfully mine, and then I'd come back with an army, so I could watch the guards and merchants and push me around all my life, bow and scrape it for me. That's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? True story is boring. My family is human, both my father and my mother. They used to live in a village nearby. I forgot the name. When my ma had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her. Pinned her to the wall and started asking questions like why his son had horns and a tail. Well, my ma told him that her mother, my grandma, used to fool around with a demon. When he heard this daddy dearest got drunk, trashed the house and then took off. He's a piece of shit. I don't remember any of this, of course. My grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Canabres and left me with my grandma. She said to her, "You and your demon have ruined my life. I can handle him. You can handle him." Yeah, your mother's a piece of crap too. Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad since. She did leave a blanket though. That part was true. But my grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think, after all that, my grandmother saw the light, felt rightly ashamed and kissed my horns? I wish. Woljif grins nastily, his yellow eyes flashing. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with a demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere, so she got angry. I can see that. And took it out on you, huh? Normal kids get bedtime stories, see? But the only tales I get told were how my dad was worthless and my ma was a slut, and I was a demon spawn so no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. So that's the truth. How did you become a tiefling? Woljif grins happily. I already was a tiefling and my life made me a thief. I've been in this business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat. And she gave me as an apprentice to Igav, a tiefling neighbour of ours. He was a cunning old geezer and he knew how to cut a purse off someone's belt. I had to cut open bags undetected, even do some magic. I used to climb through basement windows and open doors from the inside while I was still small enough. And when I grew and stopped fitting through windows, I decided I was done with my education. I repaid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too. But when I so much as hinted at leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I just nodded and then I joined the Owlbears, the gang that ran our district, and told them Igor was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owlbears. Then their leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I did steal from him, but never that much, so I had to rat him out to the guards. Then I joined the Golden Hands. That was a good time, rich pickings. I would have stayed with the Golden Hands, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course, so I told them. After that, I only had one option, to join the Northmen. And then the family came. At first no one took them seriously, calling them tieflings and all that. But I felt it right away. They had power behind them, and they had more money. I'm always on the winning side, Chief. That's why I joined the tieflings. And right on time, some thugs came from the capital and made the Northmen leave. The ones who survived in the family now. So tell me about these tieflings. Alright, I won't tell you everything, mind, but I can tell you a little. The tieflings are Mendevian thieves. The gang was started in Mendev's capital by someone or other, and soon after that they spread all over Galarian, also called a family. You know why? Because those tieflings are easy to spot. Wherever we go, guards always hassle us asking, "Are you lost or something, Hornhead?" We usually say we're visiting family, and they say, oh yeah, who? You give them the name of a local thiefling, who confirms everything, even if he's never seen you before in his life. That's why we're all brothers and sisters. So you're a thief because you grew up rough and turned opportunistic, and sometimes a bit nasty. Once you don't pull crap with me, we might be able to get on. I believe in forgiveness, I believe in redemption, just don't pull stuff with me. There are rules. Who does what, who gets what cut, and one says a lot, but they make it worth your while. They'll even heal you if you take an error. But the biggest no-no is this, you don't steal from the family. If you don't contribute to the shared pot, you'll get the cold shoulder. You won't be treated like family no more. And then everyone will hear that you went to visit some relatives who have a farm someplace. My best guess? This farm is some underground well beneath Canabres, where they breed grave worms. Sister Charisme, our boss, looked the other way more often. I'd really be able to spread my wings. Stealing from someone you call a sister, that's low, Wolchip. Birds fly low before a storm, I'm just surviving as best I can. Wolchip fixes you with a look. Imagine the situation, Chief. You're 7 years old, you come home and your own grandma, your family, is lying there drunk, and there's no food because she got wasted in the morning and didn't cook anything. And you know she has a stash under the 3rd floorboard. You take this money so as you don't starve to death. And then when she wakes up, she beats you because you should have taken it. You should have stolen some food. You're a waste of space. That's something you can never understand, Chief. You only care about moral choices. You only know what's right and wrong. Brother, sister, grandma, mother, in real life, they're just words. What do you think of Canabres, Wolchip, from the bottom side of the barrel? It used to be such a hole, then the Crusades and refugees came here, and things started looking up. Oh, it depends who you ask, I suppose, which is better steer clear of here, because Amede's followers are ferocious. Especially old Run Shapok, the local inquisitor. He's a tough old goat. I didn't see it myself, but a serving girl at the tavern told me that her second cousin's son, from his 3rd wife, is a paladin. And he said, that Olrun takes the unsheathed sword with him, even to the privy. And when he sleeps, he puts it under the pillow next to him. And when he's in his cups, he strokes the blade and whispers sweetly to it. You are my one true friend. You are the only one I can rely on. That sounds like Olrun from what I've seen. Arabesque's given us a hard time too. You so much as look at some nice little bauble, and before you can think of taking it, before your fingers even twitch, she's coming for you with nostrils flaring and fangs glinting. Scary woman. But even she's better than Sister Charisme, our boss here in Canabres. By our, I mean the thiefling's boss. If you get caught by Arabeth, it's out in the open. You go to prison or you end up with worm food. But if you step on Charisme's toes, poof, you're gone. Just like that. No one ever sees you again, and all you hear is he went to visit his family. Even though he's never had a family or a farm. I'm not going to question about being drawn to the abyss. I'm not drawn to the angels. I mean, I respect my heritage, but still. Your shadow looks strange. What kind of magic is it? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. A trick without any deception. Oldjim snaps his fingers. Blue flaming goldsing. The shadow that was previously lying calmly at his feet grows, floating in the air behind him. It is the shadow of a huge horned winged demon with claws. Ta-da! He doesn't do anything. It just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar showed me and my friends how to make shadow puppets. You put your fingers together in front of a light and it makes a shadow of a deer or a dog or a dove on the wall. I tried so hard. I wanted to make the best shadow and I did. It just happened. Waldrew chuckles sadly. Funnily enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried to stone me later, screaming at me, calling me a demon. A tiefling is always a demon to these wimps. Even the lowest ranking drunken gnome thinks he's better than me just because he hasn't got horns or a tail. The poorest beggar in the filthiest gutter thinks he's better than me. Yeah, I've heard that from Mirabeth. Most people would never show their shadow again after that first time, but I don't care. If stones start flying again, I'll run. I'm used to it by now. Well, it looks formidable. It could be useful. I like it. Woljif chuckles, pleased. What about the blue fire? That's my favourite part. And it doesn't burn at all. I've had a coin for every time I've been caught a beating for my little show here. I'd already be proposing to Galfrey, but still, I want to give up something so beautiful. Alright, let's ask something else. In fact, I have to go, let's talk later. Whatever, you're free to do as you please. Right, let's head out to check on Sister Charisma. Actually,
I will guide us.
I'll do Sister Charisma first. Oh, I need to promote people, don't I? Level 3 coming. We'll get out and then we'll do that. Oh, Gollum. Commander, look what we found here. Are you two mad? Whatever possessed you to steal the gem golem from the Tower of Estrad Museum? Explain yourself. I didn't steal nothing, Commander. Just saw some looters dragging it down the street. We captured it. That shiny fella belongs to the treasury. The inlay alone is worth more than a castle. Rather quick. Jordan, see to it that no one lays a finger on the golem or plucks out a single gem. That must be Staunton Vane's brother, Jordan. That, I mean, not him. Let's go speak with him. A grizzled dwarf turns a blade in his calloused hands, casually inspecting its edge. When he sees you approach, he sets the blade aside and meets you with a nod. A new face in the city. You picked a good time to come to Canabres. As you can see, we're in need of warriors. Do you know everyone in Canabres by sight? Well, not everyone. I'm making my business to know the people who might need my services. A blacksmith's work isn't just an anvil, you know. It's hard not to notice your kind. Asimars aren't all that common around here, apart from Remian, the prior of the Temple of Decima. A spiritual fella, like a bit woolly-headed. And there's also that Count, something or other. Some muck is a muck, not the type to visit a smithy in person. Are you Staunton Vane's brother? He's called Joran. Yep, where he goes, I go. That's how I've always done it, even before the world wound. I forge the armour, he goes into battle and breaks it. He brings it back to me and I repair it and make it better than before. Everything's changed since then, of course. Well, that part stayed the same. How was Staunton to blame for the fall of Dresden? Told this story so many times already. Well, telling it one more time won't kill me. The blacksmith sighs. Dresden was built after the First Crusade, back when it seemed like victory was ours for the taking, and that the demon invasion would soon be at an end. The population of all Sarkoris was thoroughly diminished, and many of them hoped to see their hard fighting repaid with a small plot of unclaimed land. Dresden was a fortress built on all of our hopes, and on Mendev's ambitions, though you're not supposed to say that bit out loud. What a city it was, Eliana Solshade. I didn't give you my name. You can't even imagine. It was built by the finest engineers from the Five Kings Mountains. Queen Galfrey spared no expense. Dresden was meant to be the capital of the Crusade movement. A monument to its glory and a beacon of hope for all Galarian. Heroes were drawn there to seek fame and glory, and they came from all over Taldor, Garon, Tianzia. I couldn't list them all. A relic known as the Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that had been carried into battle by Amadea herself, back when she was still human. The banner protected the city and kept the demons from teleporting inside the walls. As long as the banner was in place, Dresden was invincible, or so we thought. But then the world wound suddenly expanded. Demons launched a new onslaught, and folks started saying it was time to declare the Second Crusade. Dresden was unassailable until one young officer was tempted by a beautiful woman. She convinced him that the banners shouldn't be hanging in the city, that its rightful place on the battlefield. She whispered honeyed words about glory and valour and convinced him that he could be a hero as great as Amadea herself. And the poor fool believed her. He rounded up some of his hot-headed friends and carried the banner outside the city gates on an unauthorized foray. The demons slaughtered them within seconds, but for some reason, the courageous ringleader was spared. A whole army was teleported into Dresden. It was a bloodbath. Jordan seemingly shakes his head. As you can guess, that officer was called Staunton Vane. And the woman turned out to be a demon. Not just any demon, that was Monago. So that's a little tryst, is it? That foul wretch. She's given us a lot of grief here in Canabres too. Just don't ask me what I was doing while my brother was off having tryst with that beast, and why I didn't save him from his own stupidity. The blacksmith gestures as if to ward off the inevitable reprobation. Who could have guessed it with anything like this? I failed my brother, that's the truth. I blame myself every day, looking at his plight. So that's the story. Alright, well he screwed up, he got seduced. Why do you have your forge here in the tavern yard? Wherever I am, that's where my forge is. A true master of any craft will always find the tools they need. I miss my old forge, of course. It's now just a pile of charred stone and metal, but I've still got my hands, and that means I can work. Do you recognise this sword? Do I recognise it? Of course I do. I made this with my own hands. There's my Brancy. The dwarf carefully takes the sword in his hands, gazing at it like a doting father. Oh, Yaniel. Things have been tough without you, but at least you've still got your sword. That's something. Joran returns the sword to you. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted and break, but sometimes a weapon can preserve... Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I'm no authority on these things. But something like an echo of the deeds done with a weapon. Or more like the reflection of the wielder's soul. I don't know. I will say one thing. Take care of that sword. Yaniel may no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Ah, the scabbard's all worn. We can't be having a fine sword like that being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make you a new one if you like. If the city stands strong and we both survive, come and see me, and I'll have it ready, no charge. Alright, I don't need to see your wares right now, we've got other things going on. I have to go. Torag, watch over you. If you need something from me, don't hesitate to stop. And what about this thing? The magnificent and glittering golem encrusted with gems and covered in intricate flowery embossing triumphantly exclaims, "Happy to be of service. May Shellin brighten and vivify your day." What are you? I am Prestigious Painter Golem. Many millennia ago, I was built by Atlantic clerics of Shellin, the goddess of beauty, to make this world a better place. In my joyful service, I have visited many lands, and for the past few centuries, I have resided at the Temple of Sunrise Chrysanthemums in Ciancia. But then the good cleric saw fit to offer me as a gift to the Mendevian Crusaders, so that you could share in the beauty I create. Can you do anything useful? My creators granted me the ability to place illusions on items. I can change their colour and text to make them more beautiful and appealing to the eye. Would you like me to cast an illusion over your armour to make it green? Green is a very pleasing colour, and it would match your eyes. It quite literally wouldn't. Well, if all you can do is put an illusion on my gear, I'm not interested. So, out we go. What there is this. Looks like there might be something up there. Is there anything over here? Yep. Let's see if these barrels are. Pretty sure they are. Well, the bag is. Let's go out this gate and see if there's anything over this side. It's a level 3 paladin. Ability, knowledge world, persuasion. You can have a weapon focus on a long sword. And your mercy fatigue, so when we're tired you can help us out. Spirit Hunter level 3. Weapon focus rapier. Zen Archer level 3. This will be the last rank of Zen Archer. Don't know that I want deadly aim. Mounted combat. Volley fire. Oh. None of them. None of them. You're talking about deadly aim. I mean, it might be useful. I'll take it. Point blank master, yes. On longbow. That's us. She still has a 1 point damage there, but it's not affecting anything. Not Blackwing Library. We'll go to the Thiefling's hideout. Fallen horse. Food and ingredients. Failed to sneak past some enemies. Let's see to them. Well, didn't find them. Guess they ran off. See what's going on in the Tiefling's hideout. Actually, before I do, that is charisma, and I'm using charisma. I'm doing persuasion. What's this one? +2 on persuasion checks. Nice. Might as well use that instead of one of your daggers. There's charisma. The basement is dark and dank, and you are immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered tieflings. 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of a knife greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woljif, got my message then. Sorry, I couldn't swing by sooner, dear charisma. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles, well, next, no, I was still in shackles. And I was being watched, and then the chief got me out, and here I came straight here. I knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. So we had a clear plan. We're going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbours called the guard, it was time to get away. But what happened? That bitch and her Beth showed up right away. She knew we'd be there. Someone betrayed us, and I have a good idea who. What do you say to that? Make it quick. Do you think Woljif knows the name of the traitor? I mean, he has sold a few people out. Charisma turns to you. She speaks. I thought Woljif only brought you so you'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woljif has been part of has quickly come to an end. Well, when you think about it, he sold people out when he's under threat from them, or feels he's got a better alternative, and he hasn't said anything about that to us. I don't think he had a better alternative than the family. So there's no need for him to do it. The hideout location was passed to the guards, or their competitors found out where they could ambush them. Woljif is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. I'd have said that meant Woljif was cursed with finding friends among losers and screw-ups. But now he's with us, that must mean the curse has been broken. That depends. He has indeed been most fortunate to find himself in a party with me. On the other hand, he also ended up in a party with you. No, I like you, Camellia, let's be honest. Gotta be with you to get to help the big guy out, the rich guy. But other than that, you might be sitting back a little bit. Canabris is burning. Why are you squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? Charisma pursed her lips. I'd be glad to leave, like the rest of my brothers and sisters. But in the family, there's nothing worse than betrayal, and it's something we do not forgive. We don't forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors, let's just say, I wish I was burning in Canabres. I want to keep fighting. I want to keep living. So I'm going to take a chance. Until I find out who the traitor is, no one is leaving. Woljif, tell us your side of the story. What happened? What is there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisma got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. Woljif shakes his head toward the 5 tieflings, kneeling against the wall. She rounds us up and says we've got a score, and ancient trees and wonders. The one place no one's ever been able to hit, the place that's guarded by a golem. But now a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happens to come into our possession. Along with a tip-off that the owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted hunk will sell for a pretty penny if so we're in. And the most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging around the shop ahead of the job. No casing the place, no calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its master. My job was top secret. That's all true, go on. We did everything right with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock, I remember it clear as day. Sister Dalna was on the lookout. Brother Melroon had the scroll. Doffy, Terry and Vernier brought the sacks. We covered the window with lit torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack, and one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under the table after it, and next thing I know, Beth was there. Everybody scampered, but I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off. About 20,000 worth. Yeah, I'm not bearing that bit. And to add insult to injury, I never even found the last of one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, you poor thing, stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything. Charisma is pointedly polishing a knife. Where's the Moon of the Abyss, Brother Woljif? What's the Moon of the Abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancients and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star, fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, a crescent and waning moon. In the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Fennelman was so proud of that amulet. He used to say, I'll never sell it. It's a jewel of my collection. Audrey sighs unhappily. I used to go there to see what kind of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canabres. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you in seconds the moment you tried to fence it. Everybody knew that you always were hanging around Ancient Trees and Wonders, drooling over the Moon of the Abyss. Did you think you could swipe it all in the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd get off scot-free? With a fancy trinket too. Don't take me for a mug, Woljif. I see right through you. Come here. Come here. Sister Charisma, come here. Let's have a word, you little shell-like canny. You were given a scroll to defeat a golem in a place no one has ever been able to get into. You were told that it would be available on a particular night at a particular time. You were also told not to watch out for anyone watching over that to make sure you were in there. And then you got jumped. And you're telling me you can't spot that that was a setup from the beginning? Would hardly be his, would it? He got captured. Why would Erebeth arrest drawn informant? Took the word right out of my mouth. It doesn't make any sense. If I was a rat, I'd have kissed her hand and then been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fellow, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish and the salon can have a nice Woldriff-sized dinner. One of the base is a pretty bauble, to be sure. But it's just an amulet. Ain't worth dying over. You knew Erebeth's people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. And now you've come here with backup. You know exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to Fileman. Are you giving Erebeth a code? Is that it? Oh, I'm not saying he didn't make up with the moon in the chaos. He might have done. But he didn't create it. Have you seen her? Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like 3 heralds of Iomedae all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who'll take bribes, I'm sorry to say, but Erebeth Terebade isn't one of them. Alright, go on, Woljif. That's the whole sorry story. Woljif crosses his arms, looking affronted. Some families turn out to be just a name in the end. In a real family, people talk to each other, take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the moon of the abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it. It'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. If it's that important to your sister Charisma, I'll find it, and I'll drag the traitor here by his horns, just so as you don't end up at the bottom of the selling. But you know what you're going to have to do to me after that? An apology. Right here, in front of everyone. You're going to apologise loud and clear so everyone hears it. You'll say, sorry, Woljif, you're a good guy, and I was wrong about you. Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm giving you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup, every meal. You look into the abyss at the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the family's come for you. You'll have no peace, but one day you'll get tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that is when we'll get you. Got that? You're very with words, Sister Charisma. It almost made me wet myself, but away nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal, Erebeth. She knows you a little. Maybe you can ask her who ratted us out. Yeah, we can do that. We'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology on which we're the best, Chief. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I don't want to get chewed up by demons. Some stuff we can take here. I'm sure being thieves will appreciate us thieving from them.
Forwards.
Back to Erebeth. So, we've met everyone at the Defender's Heart. I'll finish Woljif's little story here. And then we'll be done for the day. Failed to sneak past the enemies.
Already?
Ow.
The world in crimson!
Well, she
We
took some
march
nasty
ahead.
hits. And back in we go. Sell what junk we have and talk to Beth. Come on. There we are. Don't need that anymore, do I? Don't need that. Not going to use that. Healing we might. Not going to use that. Never remember to use it. Fire belly, no. Maze of Dreams, no. The Harms, no. Scroll of Mage Armor, I won't remember to use it. The attack spells I probably will. Shield I won't remember to use if I need it. Shield of Faith and then here we've got Lesser Restoration Key, Mage Armor, Arms, and Large Person might remember to use. Right. Beth, help us out, will you? There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who should inform among the tieflings? Beth hatched a browsing surprise. Canabra is threatened by a demon horde, and you have enough spare time to help out thieves. She sighs. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see the informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note and disappeared. Beth hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the long horns didn't fit underneath it. There should be a guardian golem in Ancient Trees and Wonders, the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact. So you can interrogate the thing and find out what he saw. Code word is Hand of Irori. The shop's owner must have escaped. There's a chance you'll get lucky with the golem. Alright, then let's go. Back on the road again. Onwards to Ancient Trades and Wonders. More enemies.
You can handle them, right? Tactical retreat. No.
Hold on. Just a little more.
Another injury.
Our path leads on.
We're fine. In we go.
Hello? Is
Oh.
anyone there?
Someone here?
I found
Please get me out of here.
something.
Demon's Heart or something? Some of the scrolls have been torn apart.
Hello? Is
Shut
anyone
up!
there?
And I've been trodden on by muddy boots. Let's have a look at who's here.
Free at last. I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
You're a Pathfinder.
That's right, Finian Dismar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my tasks lead me. Scouting mostly, but this last while I've just been hanging around in Canabras, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn.
What I actually meant, Finian, was... What are you?
What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it?
No, I meant, what are you?
I'm from around here, actually. We Helots of the Star Eye clan fled when the World Wound troubles began. But I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? Well, my best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I am best at is communing with the spirits.
I mean...
They call folks like me Phantom Blades.
Do they? You're a talking weapon? A Phantom Blade, what is that?
It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some
I'd
spirits
say
are
it's a
likened to
twist.
me at some point, and it can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors.
Yeah, maybe not including yourself there. The city's under attack by demons.
Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. And then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Canabras, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier.
How did you end up in this shop?
I've been waiting here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here.
Alright, I'll take you with us.
I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword, a spear, a bow? Just say the word.
Okay. They're no good to us. That's also not particularly useful, is it? Right, let's... Oh, Finian's there. We can talk to him still. Hail to the adventurers! You know, I've never regretted following you. You've only just started. Everyone seems to revolve around you like beavers on a mill wheel. I'll have a lot to write in my report to the Pathfinder Society. I don't think you're going to be writing anything, dude. Although thinking about it, it's been a while since I last left any report. I bet it has. I want to talk about you. Sure, go ahead, but I haven't really done anything noteworthy yet. Do you realise you're a weapon? What kind of question is that? I mean, sure, the clinic keeps going on about how every crusader being a weapon of Iamade, but I'll speak myself in fancy words like that. I'm just a lad with 2 arms, 2 legs, and more freckles than I'd like. Bad news. I chose where to go and whom to fight for. I don't want to be someone's weapon, you hear? Yeah. Aladdin is dead. Now everybody decides their own fate. Okay. How did you become a Pathfinder? I've always wanted to be one, ever since I was a kid. I remember I'd go out to the edge of the village at sunset and then just keep walking until I got tired, or someone dragged me back by my ear. It was like something was drawing me away from home. My clan wasn't the nomadic kind. Before the wound opened, the idea of travelling somewhere would never have crossed my mind, the minds of many of my clan. They were content with their community or their patch of land. But I had always wanted to see what lay beyond that bend in the road, over the familiar horizon, over the familiar hill beyond the horizon. My father, he wanted to teach me to be a shaman like him. But as soon as I came of age, I was off looking for the Pathfinder Society, and I found it in Iz. After 3 weeks of travelling on foot, I passed their trials, and they accepted me. My father hasn't spoken to me since, but that's all right. Once he hears my great deeds, he'll come round someday. All I wanted was to rush off to some faraway land and find a treasure trove no one else had discovered yet. But I knew I had a duty to Sarkoris. Then the wound opened, the demons, the havoc. In the end, I never went anywhere. But as soon as things calm down, I'm setting off to explore Aslan's. I've already decided. Great ancient ruins, that's my kind of life. Being surrounded by wreckage here is depressing, as I'm sure you know. Do you remember anything from before you joined Canabris? There's uncertainty in Finian's voice. I mean, a lot of things happened. I remember how happy everyone was when the wardstone was placed in Canabris. There was some celebration. Finian is silent for a few moments. And I remember when the cultists took me. Cut down my whole party and dragged me to their ringleader. Don't know his name, everyone just called him the Bladesmith. But after that, my memory is all fuzzy. For some reason, it didn't sacrifice me or anything, just knocked me around. Said he'd been looking for a phantom blade for a long time, I don't remember why. Yeah, about that memory of yours. How I escaped, what I did, can't remember that either. Some crusader picked me up in the wound, brought me to Canabris, and that's where I stayed, licking my wounds. Maybe there was a mix-up and now they think I'm dead. Why else would none of them contact me the whole time? The wardstone, you say? What you're describing happened decades ago. That's rich. Next you're going to tell me I've been sleeping for decades. Last year that was. Yeah, no it wasn't. Well, maybe the year before that. Not close. I couldn't have been wandering the wound that long. Yeah, I don't think you have been. I would have either died an old geezer by now. I would have either died or been an old geezer by now. Nah, quit messing with me. You need to understand you're not human anymore. Finian's voice sounds concerned. Hey, are you feeling alright? Maybe you need to have a lie down. I'm standing right in front of you. Poke me if you like. As human as they come. Or do you think my travels have worn me down so much I've become an animal? Not happening. My folks taught me to stay human always. Yeah, about that. He's not going to believe it, is he? Always, no matter the circumstances, to remember who I am and never shame my ancestors. Are you able to commune with spirits? Maybe I can, only they don't want to answer me. I'm still a spiritualist, a phantom blade. My power is within me, but I have this feeling like I'm separated from the spirit world by some kind of transparent wall. Yeah. I keep knocking, but no one can hear me, I think. Finian forces a chuckle. Guess all the Bladesmith's torture did a number on me. He broke something inside. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about the Pathfinder Society. Oh, well, sometimes folks curse our names, calling us opportunists who just want to line our pockets. That's only part of it. We're travellers, explorers, solvers of mysteries, and fighters of evil. I mean, gold coin hasn't hurt anyone yet, but for folks like me, it's not what truly matters. We're curious to see the world, play a part in everything, stick our nose everywhere. Getting into our circle isn't easy. First you must prove that you can endure any place you enter. You won't shy away or flee. That's why you'll never catch a long line of applicants outside the Society Lodge. Every lodge has a venture captain, and if they approve your application, you're in. And there are many lodges all over the world. But the main one, the Grand Lodge, is located far away in Absalom. I've never been there myself, but I've heard a lot of stories about it and the Decemvirate. that governs all Pathfinder affairs from there. That's all for now. I need to get going. If you feel like chatting, I'm always here. I can turn him into something, can I? Yes. You're already using a magic weapon. You're using that. Maybe it's time to give you composite longbow. Oh, we've got something else there. What's this? Summons a pipe fox pet. Pipe fox provides +3 insight bonus on knowledge arcana, and +2 insight bonus on perception skill. Oh, you are a perception guy. Maybe I should give that to you.
Are we in trouble yet?
I will guide us. Now what is that?
Bit of a ring. One of the gold rings. Not 5 of them. Polished oak shells once showcased magic rings and amulets. Now all that's left are the rubber found. Okay. Oh, we got something over here too. Oh, that's what we dropped. Unique weapons and unique armor were previously displayed here. It's unlikely their owners even know their true value. The formerly well-appointed shop now looks in a sorry state. It has been completely ransacked, lying on the corner next to a scorched wall of the covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eyes glow in the gloom. Master, code word. Hand of Rory. Code word, correct. The golem's eyes glow brighter, awaiting orders. Where did you come from? Who created you? This golem was created at Catherine and Son address 3rd building on the right, Jewelers Alley, Nerosian, Mendev. Model G504ENE, which stands for Experimental and Enhanced. For all inquiries, contact Mr. Gaffrin. Okay, not interested. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop in the last week. The golem is silent for a moment. 56 individuals enter the shop. Human, female, old. Gnome, male, old. Human, female. He'll be reeling off customers till nightfall. We need to ask it in a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? The golem is silent a while. Tieflings. 3. Tiefling, male, middle-aged. Tiefling, male, young. Tiefling, female, young. Describe the young male tiefling. Tiefling, male, medium height, short horns, curling backward. Medium length hair. Eye colour, yellow. Hair colour, black. Special observation, annoyed master. Horns, hair, tail, that sounds like me, but it's not possible. I know what the security's like here. I didn't come near the place. I'll give you my word, Chief. I'm not sure about that, Woljif. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see? Can't be me. Describe the middle-aged... let's go middle-aged tiefling. Medium height, long horns, medium length tail, eye colour, pale blue. Skin colour, dark. Special observation, red hair. Oh, that's our trader. I bet your life on it. Charisma drilled it into our heads that we wasn't to go hanging around the shop. Red hair. We've got a couple of gingers. And plenty more who get it out of bottle. So much for the special observation. Golems ain't all the crap chups be, eh? Maybe its master knows more. Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling, female. Above average height. Hair, long, pale. Tail, not observed. Long horns, eye colour blue. Special observations, scar on nose. Baldric with gold stitching. I don't know about that one. A new arrival, most likely. Gold stitching, I wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. Enough. The golem is silent, waiting for a new order. Where's your master? Failman Friliatros, my master, is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. 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 He likely holed himself up in the basement when the commotion started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. Where's the basement in this place? The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. Found out everything I need to know. So we need to move you.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
Without a doubt.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Anything else? Well, the elderly gnome, so portly as to be nearly spherical, curled up in the corner of the basement. Marauders, banders, scavengers! Yeah, makes sense, but all those things and much more. Before you report us to the authorities, mind if we have a chat? Well, please calm down, no one's going to rob you. The gnome peers at you. You do look better dressed than the local thieves and ragamuffins. You came here to tell me the nightmare's over? No, it's not. You're here to steal my riches. Get back! He performed an action that was good. The gnome notices Woljif and his rounded face turns scarlet. You? Woljif, you dirty little sneak thief. You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here. You and your pals have taken everything already, I'm sure. The gnome seems to settle slightly. My name's Falmer Fruliatros. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything now. I hope there's at least something left of it. Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe, but not a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robberies? Do you think I robbed my own shop? No, I just wondered if you saw anything. I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. The Watch was very keen to get their hands on those thieflings. They seem to be multiplying all over Galarian. So, of course, I did everything they said, and I've been stuck in the basement since then. How long ago was this? The gnome... But the golem wouldn't move away from the door. Yeah, well, he smashed to bits. No matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought that it was all to the good. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs. Bellowing like mad. Taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the tieflings that have visited the ancient trees and wonders lately. Why should I tell you anything about my customers? You're not from the city guard or the Eagle Watch. Chief, if he keeps digging in his heels, just say the word and know how to loosen his tongue. I'm helping the Eagle Watch catch the culprits. It's in your interest to tell me everything. So they haven't caught the thieflings. I thought the city's finest were on the job and they'd... The gnome sighs. You can't rely on anyone. Ask your questions then, if it's so important. Well, we know about Woljif, we're not going to ask that. And we can be fairly sure that Woljif's right, that it's the red-haired tiefling. Valmel falls thinking. A red-haired tiefling? I suppose, yes, there was one who came in, spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes. But he asked me to show him an Asimar-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it, and that's when I suspected something was off. I checked everything after he left, but nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember how he looks like. I didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember, he was wrapped in a green cloak like he was freezing. But that's all I have. That's it. With that description, we'll surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief. Let's get back to Sister Charisma. We go to... let's get back to Sister Charisma. We go to have a good long shifty... All my brothers and put all these clues together. Something tells me our traitor isn't going to wiggle out of here. I'm not going to listen to these because, I mean, I don't need to. Out we go. Now, we got a bunch of injured peeps, so let's sort that out. What? What did I just do? Alright, I don't know what I did, but it wasn't good. And Molchev. Alright, Charisma, I think we can help you out here. Charisma drums her fingers nervously on the handle of a blade. Well, are you going to tell me who the traitor is? The name of the moon of the abyss that they stole. I don't need anything else. Take a look at the suspects. The tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. They only read it to Melroom and Doppy, so it's one of them. The dark-skinned tieflings... the dark-skinned tieflings are Vanir, Doffy and Melroon. Doesn't help. Doffy, Melroon and Tavia have long horns. Again, not narrowing it down. But Tavia is female. Only Vanir and Melroon have green cloaks. Assuming they haven't changed and that's how they always dress, that makes it Melroon. I'll give you a name. It's Melroon. You'll pay for this, Vorsil and Hebzerma. We'll get you in the end. Well, he's dead. Grab him, take him away for questioning. Oh, he's alive. Not for much longer, probably. Charisma looks weary, but her early attention has clearly shifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the moon of the abyss. The best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem and betrayed us to her best so that he could swipe the amulet into chaos. He thought we'd get nicked and he'd slink out to meet up with his customer. You got the moon of the abyss. Let me take a look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamed of holding this in my hand. If only for a second. He said when he got to the window display the moon was gone. He's lying, of course. He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Bloody cultists. I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. What are you going to do now? Clear out of this place. The sooner the better. The city's dying. I don't want it to die with it. This city would have already died if not for the people who stood up to defend it, with weapons in their hands. So defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. We've always been outsiders here. Why would we fight for you now? What are you going to do with the traitor? I'm not going to have to join the family. I'm not a thief. Charisma nonchalantly, well, not such, picks at her nails with a knife tip. He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on the farm. Think about the things he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Charisma turns to leave. Sister? Waldif nervously bites his lip. His cheeks are flushed, and his tail is swishing through the air. You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology? You promised to apologise to me loudly in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well? Ah, that. Charisma shrugs indifferently. So, sorry I suppose for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time, it cancels out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, Woljif. That was the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Too bad, because that's all I've got. Oh well. Woljif watched her go, his tail relaxing. Better than nothing. Listen, Chief, when you've got time, got a spare minute, come and see me. I have something I want to discuss with you. But for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. Alright, so we've saved him from the hassle he's going through.
Can't hide from me.
And we've got a trap.
This is my kind of work.
Some gems. More useful stuff. Nothing else in here? Seems like there should be, but I guess not. Alright.
We march ahead.
Well, at least we saved Woljif. Let's go have a word with him now. Do we have anything to sell? Yep, I don't think I need these either. Feather step, no. Get rid of that. What is that, jade? Cast certain spells. Oh, more wine. So, Woljif, what did you have you wanted to talk about?
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
He makes a subtle gesture and an amulet on its chain appears in his hand. A silver amulet in the shape of a waning moon with a dark crystal in the middle. So you did betray the tieflings.
Oh, that cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that. Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because
You're an
I want to see the
opportunist.
world. Is it a crime to want to travel? Huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
Did you really have the amulet all this time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Well, at least you kept it out of the hands of cultists, so why was it so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
You've been searched by the guards. How do you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
So why didn't you give it to Charisma right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the tieflings, and they never appreciated me anyway.
Why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, she asks. It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it.
I mean, it's believable, but after all the other lies, Woljif, are you sure it's true?
She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My ma was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when
She sounded more realistic because I've heard about your grandma.
Shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders. I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid.
Would explain the obsession.
He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there.
They did want to
I
escape
stayed
them.
with the family for too long.
They didn't consider him a friend. He was just useful. Well, it's your business, not mine.
Allies, friends, it's all a load of crap. Life brings us together, forces us to make plans, do whatever it is we do, but it's a safe bet that this ain't forever. I might be a traitor, but the others, are they any better than me? Melround had a good reputation in the family. He was trusted, and you see what happened. If you abide by the law, anyone can rob you. So you need to break the law first when no one expects it, and run before you go soft and get too attached. Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family. And
Not sure you need anything from you.
We have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables.
We'll see.
So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
Alright, well. Show me what you can get. Let's see if there's anything good. You can get a poison to start. Some slightly potent weapons. Some flasks. A few random scrolls and lockpicks. Nothing too big, but some stuff. Scrolls of haste could be useful. Right. We've met everyone here. All that remains now for me, and I'm probably going to do this between episodes, is to hire someone from Hilo. As I say, I want to get a... we've got a space left, and I want to get a kineticist into the party. So, join us next time, and we'll set off again from the Defender's Heart, this time into the city proper.
Thanks for watching, for being around, for every message, reaction, all the joy we found. To the quiet, the loud, the sharp and the sly, you're the reason I'm leaving with my spirits high. So hit like, leave a word or tap that sub. If you laugh, cry to mock my stuff. Every click helps the channel grow, lets me keep on with the show.